Hi, good morning. Thanks for joining. Today we're going to do a 15-minute morning practice to really get the blood flowing, our breath moving, and set a good intention for the day. So let's start seated, either kneeling like I am, or you can start in a seated cross leg. And we're just going to take a minute to really observe the breath and invite in a bit of deep breathing into the full capacity of our lungs. So having one hand over the chest and one hand over the abdomen, you can close down the eyes or just gaze downward and take a deep inhalation through the nose. And softly exhale through your mouth. Repeating that 2 more times. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And again, inhale, filling the lungs all the way to the top chest. And exhale through the mouth. Now we're going to begin inhaling and exhaling through the nose. So inhale, let the abdomen expand, then the ribs, then the top chest. And exhale, relax your chest, your ribs, your abdomen. And again, inhale, expand through the belly, front, back, and side ribs, and into your top chest. Exhale softly, chest, ribs, belly. Once again, inhale. Breathing into all 3 parts of the lungs. Exhale. Release the breath. Relax your hands down and gently open the eyes. Let's come into table pose so that you're stacking your shoulders right over your wrists and your knees right under your hips. Look down at your hands. Pick them up one at a time. Kind of start to open and close your fingers, getting some blood flow all the way to the tips of the fingers. And when you plant that hand down, have those fingers nice and wide and a hollow palm. And switch sides, open and close, warming up even the underside of the forearm and getting blood flow to the wrist here. And place that hand down. And now begin to push the floor away from you until you feel your lower belly start to lift. So even push the tops of your feet down into your mat. Push the fingertips and the underside of the knuckle down into the mat so you feel the underside of your arm begin to engage all the way up into the armpit, which is engaging the shoulder. Moving through cat and cow, we're going to inhale and look up and lift the sitting bones up and lower the ribs. And as you exhale, tuck your chin and look down your nose and pull the navel in. And go back and forth. Inhaling, spread your collarbones wide, look up. And exhale, scoop your low belly in and up. Repeat that. Inhale. Open the ribs, drop the spine, and exhale, push into your mat, push into the palms and the tops of the feet, and then come into a neutral spine, so a flat back. And we're going to walk one knee to the center line and extend the opposite leg back, and then pause and distribute the weight evenly through your hands, okay? Lower the head of that hip bone of your extended leg, and then you're going to extend the opposite arm alongside your ear, looking down. Inhale and get very long through the inner arm and the inner back leg. And exhale, get very strong in your grounded hand, the fingertips, and the top of your back foot. One more breath. Lower the hand, lower the knee. And then that other knee comes to the midline. You extend the opposite leg. You even out the weight and effort through the arms and hands. Extend the opposite arm along the opposite ear and stretch through your tailbone. Visualize it lengthening toward your back heel as the inner arm reaches for the fingertips. Keep breathing and exhale. Lower the hand, lower the knee, widen your knees and sit back toward your heels and rest your forehead down in child's pose. And if your buttocks doesn't touch your heels, that's okay. You can have it be high, but just try to relax your head down and release your neck. Take a nice full breath, breathing into the backside of your ribs. As you inhale, feel them open. And as you exhale, relax into the weight of your body. And then inhale and look up between your hands and open the fingers wide again. Hands are shoulder distance apart. Come back up to all fours and then tuck the toes and lift your knees and your hips and stretch those hips way up and way back into downward facing dog. So in the morning, the hamstrings are pretty tight. It's nice to bend the knees and tilt your tailbone up toward the ceiling, toward the sky, and root down in the underside of your knuckle and the fingertips. And then we're going to look up between the hands and you're going to walk your feet up and we're going to come into a nice hanging forward fold. So nice to do in the mornings. So bend your knees pretty deeply so that the pelvis kind of rolls over the head of the thigh bone. And then let your ribs touch your thighs as you hold the opposite elbow in the opposite palm. And then shake your head gently, yes. Let the weight of your skull be nice and heavy, descending downward. And deepen your breath. Feel the breath. Visualize the four corners of each foot and root down into your feet so that you can kind of have this counter energy come up through the arches of the feet, up the legs, into your hips. Stabilizing the legs, walk your hands to your hips, turn the tailbone under and inhale, come up to standing position of mountain pose where we stand nice and firmly on our 2 feet, lengthening the tailbone, lifting the chest, having the arms at our sides. As you stand tall, you can gaze down the nose or close the eyes. We're going to open the toes nice and wide. Right? We're enlivening the body all the way from the soles of the feet up to the crown of the head. So as those toes open, feel how the arch of the foot starts to engage. You may already feel your thighs are wrapping around the thigh bones. The tailbone drops, the belly lifts up, the chest is open, collarbones are wide, arms are soft at your sides, back of the head lifts and spreads wide as your chin tucks. Feeling the breath as well as your steadiness in mountain pose. And then we're going to step the feet wide for warrior 2. So you're going to turn your toes to one side, getting the back toe in front of that back heel, and then lift your arms nice and wide. Flip your palm face up, flip it down. Do this a couple of times, getting some more blood into the shoulder. And then we're going to exhale and drop that front knee right over the heel and not past the ankle. Then your palms can flip face down as you gaze softly past the fingertips. Visualize your sitting bones reaching toward your tailbone. Let the weight of your legs drop a little bit. The weight of the hips sink, but then counteract that energy by lifting the navel in and up. And straighten that front leg. Hands can come down as you turn your toes to the other side, getting the back toe in front of the heel, 45-degree angle ideally. And then let's lift the arms, flip the palms a couple of times. When we externally rotate the upper arm bone, so when the palms are face up, you're opening your chest that much more. So we're gonna exhale, knee over the heel, crown of the head over the ribs, ribs over the hips, palms face down, soft gaze. Really vigorous breath. So really let the breath move in your upper body. The heart and the lungs are supporting you, keeping your arms nice and steady. So breathe all the way out to the fingertips. And straighten the front leg and lower the hands. Now you're going to turn to the other side, but you're going to bring this back foot around. And you can be on the ball of the foot as you square your hips to one side of your mat, okay, to a vertical side. We're gonna come down into a lunge. So you're gonna bend your front knee, start to wiggle this foot back, and if you can't reach the floor, you're gonna steady yourself right here with your forearms on your thigh. Otherwise, your hands are down, framing your front foot, and you're in a nice low lunge. We're gonna inhale, and then you're gonna exhale and straighten the leg. We're gonna do this 5 times. So inhale, knee over the heel, look up, and exhale, begin to straighten that leg. Now, if the body's cold because you just woke up, you could really feel a deep stretch here with the hamstring. So go nice and easy with your breath, warming up the legs. Good. And now we're going to have the knee over the heel, and you're going to lift your arms up alongside your ears. And lift as high as you can through the inner arm. And lengthen that tailbone towards your back heel and scoop the belly in and up. Now straighten the front leg and then turn forward and around to the other side. So you have to get this back foot all the way around. You're gonna be on the ball of the foot. And then this front leg, we start to bend the knee, and you can widen your stance by wiggling that foot back behind you. And either you're resting your forearm on your thigh or forearms, or you're down, hands framing the front foot, right? And then we're gonna exhale, and you're gonna straighten the front leg, and inhale, knee over heel. 5 times, back and forth. And if you have your forearms on your thigh, you could switch it to the palms. It is more challenging because now it becomes a balancing movement as well. So go nice and easy. And then we'll do knee over the front heel, push into the front foot. Inhale, lift your arms alongside your ears, and pause and breathe. Feel the skin of your side body reaching up, and lengthen through your inner arms to the fingertips, and push into the heel that's behind you. One more breath. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Turn your toes forward, lower the hands down, and we'll place them on the hips. Now look down at your feet. You want to pigeon toe your feet just a little bit, so toes come in, and then your knees are pointing straight ahead, and the thighs are turned on, they're engaged. Hands come to the hips to inhale, lift your chest, and gaze at your brow so that when you forward fold, you're rolling the pelvis, leading with your navel, then your chest, then the chin. So your spine is as long as it can be. And then when you get to kind of your max, relax the weight of your head, hands to the floor. Let the weight of your head just kind of dangle. Hands are about shoulder distance apart. Ideally, the wrist is under the elbow and the elbow lines up with the shoulder, kind of creating a right angle with the arm. If you're less flexible, your pose might be more like hands or arms are straight and your head is lifted. This is a good position if the hamstrings are really tight, just to have your spine parallel with the floor instead, so that you can lift your sitting bones and press your thigh bones back to open the hamstring. And then eventually the torso lowers and the weight of the head drops. Now we're going to inhale and come up halfway, and then exhale, and you're going to bend one knee and move your hips over to that heel. Now see, my heel's coming up and my toes over here are coming up. This is just the most comfortable for my ankles, right? Now this hand that's closest to your inner thigh is going to be down toward the floor, fingertips down, and then extend the top arm up and look up past the fingertips. And smile a little bit. It is the beginning of the day, the start of something new. Keep reaching through the toes of that extended leg so that leg stays active. And now we'll exhale that hand down. Use your hands for support to walk the hips over to the other heel. Do what feels natural. If it feels natural for the heel to stay down, leave it down. If you want to keep that foot down, leave it down. I'm doing toes up and heel up because that's most comfortable for my ankles. And then that arm comes to the inner thigh, the one closest to that bent knee, and the opposite arm extends. And the gaze is skyward. The breath moving in, moving out. And then exhale, lower that hand down. Let your hands help you walk back to the center of the mat. Now turn your toes out toward the corners of your mat. Bend your knees so you're coming into a low squat. Walk your hands to your thighs and come up. Notice the arms are straight. The shoulders shrug up by the ears. This is fine. We're going to twist the spine a little bit by lowering one shoulder down toward the front of your mat, and then you're looking back behind you. And then you inhale and look forward and scoop your belly, and you exhale, opposite shoulder forward, look back behind you. And then inhale, look forward, and we're gonna push into the feet and straighten the legs and open the arms into starfish. And you're gonna exhale and come down into goddess, a squat with the palms at the heart. A couple more times. Inhale, open, and exhale and ground. Back and forth. And if there is an intention you would like to set for your day, this would be a really good time to kind of breathe that in as we move with the breath. And then we'll exhale the arms down to our sides and zigzag the feet in. Step your feet together so you're back in mountain pose. Nice long neck. Inhale, lift your arms overhead, gaze up, and exhale, lower the palms down in front. Keep the hands moving down. Inhale, lift the breath up overhead, And exhale, bring it down through your midline. And again, inhale, expansive breath. Exhale, sealing in your intention into your heart. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.